good, beautiful, beautiful morning. Today we have Jim Butcher's Small Favor. This one's book 10 of the Dresden Files. We are on today, chapter 2. So, if you guys can grab your copies of the book, like, subscribe, and share my channel with others. Whew, excuse me. We will go ahead here and get started on Small Favor. Well, Charity said, it's broken. Ya think? I asked. The light touch of her fingers on my nose was less than pleasant, but I didn't twitch or make any sounds of discomfort while she examined me. It's a guy thing. At least it isn't out of place, Michael said, knocking snow off his boots. Getting it set back is the sort of thing you don't mind forgetting. Find anything? I asked him. The big man nodded his head and set a sheathed broadsword in a corner against the wall. Michael was only a couple of inches shorter than me, and a lot more muscular. He had dark hair and a short beard, both of them peppered with silver, and wore blue jeans, work boots, and a blue and white flannel shirt. The corpse is still there. It's mostly a burned mess, but I didn't see it dissolve. Yeah, I said. Fairies aren't holy beings of the spirit world. They leave corpses behind. Michael grunted. Other than that, there were footprints, but that's about it. No sign of those goat things were still around. He glanced into the dining room where the carpenter's children were gathered at the table, talking excitedly and munching the pizza their father had been out picking up when the attack occurred. The neighbors think the light show must have come from a blown transformer. That's as good excuse as any, I said. I thank God no one was hurt, he said. For him, it wasn't just an expression. He meant it literally. It came of being a devout Catholic, and maybe from toting around a holy sword with one of the nails from the crucifixion wrought into the blade. He shook himself and gave me a short smile. And you, of course, Harry. Thank Daniel, Molly, and Charity, I said. I just kept our visitors busy. Your families who got the little ones to safety, and Charity did all the actual smiting. Michael's eyebrows went up, and he turned his gaze on his wife. Did she now? Charity's cheeks turned pink. She briskly sweat up the various tissues and cloths I'd bloodied, and carried them out of the room to be burned in the lit fireplace in the living room. In my business, you don't ever want samples of your blood, your hair, or your fingernail clippings lying around for someone else to find. I gave Michael the rundown of the fight while she was gone. My nail gun? He asked, grinning, as Charity came back into the kitchen. How did you know it was a fairy? I didn't, she said. I just grabbed what was at hand. We got lucky, I said. Michael arched an eyebrow at me. I scowled at him. Not every good thing that happens is divine intervention, Michael. True, Michael said, but I prefer to give him the credit unless I have good reason to believe otherwise. It seems more polite than the other way around. Charity came to stand at her husband's side. Though they were both smiling and speaking lightly about the attack, I noticed that they were holding hands very tightly, and Charity's eyes kept drifting over toward the children, as if to reassure herself that they were still there and safe. I suddenly felt like an intruder. Well, I said, rising, looks like I've got a new project. Michael nodded. Do you know the motive for the attack? That's the project, I said. I pulled my duster on, wincing as the motion made my move, my stiffening neck. I think they were after me. The attack on the kids was a diversion to give the one on the tree a shot at my back. Are you sure about that? Charity asked quietly. No, I admitted. It's possible that they're holding a grudge about that business in Arctis Tour. Charity's eyes narrowed and went steely. Arctis Tour was the heart of the Winter Court, the fortress and sanctum sanctorum of Queen Mab herself. Some nasty customers from Winter had stolen Molly, and Charity and I, with a little help, had stormed the tower and taken Molly back by main force. The whole mess had been noisy as hell, and we'd pissed off an entire nation of wicked fae in the process of making it. "Keep your eyes open, just in case," I told her, "and let Molly know that I'd like her to stay here for the time being." Michael quirked an eyebrow at me. "You think she needs our protection?" "No," I said. "I think you might need hers." Michael blinked. Charity frowned quietly, but did not dispute me. I nodded to both of them and left. Molly wasn't rebelling against everything I told her to do purely upon reflex these days. But fair occupy reminded the best way of avoiding arguments with her. I shut the door to the Carpenter household behind me, cutting off the scent of hot pizza and the sound of loudly animated children's voices, ruckus after the excitement. The November night was silent and very cold. I fought off the urge to shiver and hurried to my car, a beat-up old Volkswagen Beetle that had originally been powder blue, but was now a mix of red, blue, green, white, yellow, and now primer gray on my new hood my mechanic had scrounged up. Some anonymous joker who had seen too many Disney movies had spray-painted the number 53 inside a circle on the hood, but the car's name was the Blue Beetle, and was going to stay that way. I looked at the warm golden light coming from the house for a moment. Then I coaxed the Beetle to life and headed for home. Thank you for listening to Chapter 2 of the Dresden Files, A Small Favor. And I do want to thank you guys for all the help and all the support that you've given my channel. We are growing again. We kind of hit a little down spurt where we didn't grow for almost a month, but we're back to kind of building it up. We do have just a few more before some other things start happening. That's at about 700 votes. I do want to thank you guys for the building up and the support that you guys have given me. And stay tuned for further chapters. And as always, you can suggest other books to start reading soon. Like I said, this is book 10. So we have just a few more books of Dresden Files left before we start going into other chapters. And I'd kind of like to try to see if I can't do a couple of books or something like that coming out. But this all depends on what your guys' thoughts, how the channel grows and moves, a bunch of little things like that. But I do want to thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to spend it with me. And you have a wonderful and blessed day.